Amazing. Everyone, welcome to an episode of Arc Live. I apologize that we've been taking a small hiatus, and I hope that the wait will have been worth it for you. We now have better equipment and a three-man team responsible for ensuring that sort of like the content we bring to you actually effing works. So fingers crossed for us being back here with you. I am glad to be here, and I hope that you prefer the setting to what we've had kind of like previously. Thank you for being here. We're going to dive straight in. We are here still at Network School. This is now the longest I've been anywhere in 7 months, but I'm here with the lovely guest, Sarah. How long have you been here now?
This is my second month. I've been here since 1st of September.
Since 1st of September.
Also, the longest I've been in any place for the past year, probably.
Wow, there are some weird people here, aren't there, right? Like, or unusual people with unusual circumstances. But you have already made a commitment to stay.
Yeah, I signed the deal, the long-termer deal. So I committed to stay here for 1 year, get my own apartment, and yeah, effectively be a member of this community.
So let's just like wind back a little bit. Okay, like so how did you hear about, Network School in the first place?
I was a long-time follower of Balaji, and I read the Network State book back when it first came out, and I found it super interesting, like the concept of building a new state in this day and age. Like, it's something that, do we need it? Should it exist? Mm-hmm. And I found it super interesting. But like, going from philosophy, and like theorizing it to actual reality. Yeah, that's what drew me in.
Okay, interesting.
So,
and why did you end up again following Balaji in the first place? Like, what were you doing? How did that come across your radar? Why were you interested in all this stuff in the beginning?
Okay, so I learned about the magical existence of Bitcoin very late. I think it was 2017 maybe.
Okay, that's not late for most people. I feel like that's definitely not, that's not late. That's got to be in the first like few percent of the universe still.
Well, if you look at like crypto Twitter, that's very late, right? Like you're sort of a late bloomer. So I was like a late bloomer, and I started following, the entire NFT boom, back when the Bored Apes and the entire PFP NFT was the big deal. And I just started reading about the space and starting to understand about the technology. My background is not in crypto. Like,
you do real things, right?
I do AI things. I was a machine learning product manager, so I come from the AI side of things. So I started reading about it, and then Balaji is, of course, a huge personality in the crypto space, and that's how I got to know him as the former CTO of Coinbase. And reading what he was publishing, I thought it was an incredibly well thought person, like a philosopher of the modern day and age, sort of. And yeah, that's how, when the book came out, that's how I discovered it.
Okay, so you feel that you're a late bloomer in crypto, but you were earlier in AI. Is that fair?
Yeah, I will say, like, and it actually randomly happened. Like, I did not study software engineering. I just ended up working in a team that was doing machine learning. And that's how, I had to learn everything on the job, basically. So my background was different.
No, okay, cool. And then, so what were you doing before coming here?
So before coming here, I had my own startup and was living in Berlin. The startup failed. Ouch, still painful.
How about Berlin? Did that fail as well?
Luggage, and then you have to wait, for someone to find it. That's Berlin. Like, that's the way to find your luggage, So I guess that after 10 years, I finally found mine, and I was like, okay, my startup failed.
It's not the place for me anymore. Fuck Berlin, bye. And then I started to travel the world, and I ended up here.
And okay, so you were traveling the world, end up here, but whilst you were traveling the world, you're also busy, not necessarily documenting the world, but at least some of the changes that are happening in the world.
Yeah, so one of my biggest learning in failing at my first startup is that if you do not have an audience in this day and age, you don't have anything. Like attention is all you need, quite literally applies to humans as well, not just to AI and transformers, right?
The thing I always say in my head these days, right, is that, again, attention is all you need, but it's actually quite hard to get at times, or at least like it's a big fight for it, right? So please continue.
And it's increasingly harder because you're not competing just with other humans, you're competing with AI as well, like Sora, recently came out, and now you're competing with like thousands, potentially millions of AI generated videos. They take 5 seconds to make. So it's increasingly more difficult to get attention. So that's why starting now, if you want to build an audience, is key. And I bet that humans still crave humans connection and still want to see real humans.
Age of AI, being human has never been more important, right? Like that's the sort of like the contradiction of those sort of like things. It's
And this is why living here ties back to all of this, because like I believe offline will become and communities will become even huger. Like people will crave offline real experiences and curated communities even more. And this is like why this was also so attractive to me coming here. Like experiencing what is it like to build an intentional community that eventually will turn into an actual nation. What is it like to have like culture? Maybe like, can you build a Renaissance 2.0? I'm from Florence, so I'm kind of obsessed about the idea of having a Renaissance, right?
Sure. Have you and Leo had a battle of which is better, Firenze or Venice?
We did.
Yeah, who won?
I think like I'm still of the opinion that Florence, we gave rise to so many beautiful things in the world and so many concepts. Like even banking comes from Florence. So like, I feel like
that would be a good head-to-head to see that at some point, But okay. So you're saying again, like you had this experience in Berlin, lost your luggage, sort of managed to find it, left, and was sort of like reflecting on this point of distribution. Right, and this point of attention being so important. And so you started deliberately trying to capture attention before you'd even started the next thing. Is that fair?
Yeah. So the reasoning was, since building software is easier than ever, because like you can byte code something today and launch it in like 1 hour. Okay. What is the biggest distinguish? Unless you're doing like massive AI research, it's distribution. Okay, so if the tech is not the barrier anymore, because it's like commoditized, everything accrues on the distributional layer. So you need attention, you need eyeballs, and you better start getting those eyeballs even before you have everything to sell, because you become credible. Like when people don't have the feeling that you're trying to sell them something and that you're genuine, they become your followers and your fan. And so I started to yap on Instagram and TikTok about AI, okay? Because that's what I know. And I was very passionate also about AI research and not like furthering the hype, but grounding things in science. And there is not much of that on Instagram and TikTok. There is a lot more on X, but not much on Instagram and TikTok. So I found my niche. It took me some time to figure out how to grow on Instagram especially, but now it seems to work. So now I'm like experiencing like some traction and some growth. So
no, it's very interesting because again, I do a lot of sessions with people that are part of ARC here, right? And the last one we filmed as well, right? Like outside the stuff, right? Again, like you're sort of building it into the way that you build, I guess, right?
Yeah.
You've learned, and I'm noticing even when you're here, you're very good at looking at the camera. Should I be looking at the camera more?
Oh, nah, yes and no. How do you feel about it being on camera? How is it like for you?
it's extremely abstract, right? Like in a way, right? Like it's like on, like when I was on stage on Friday, right, at the Network State Conference, I don't know how many people were simultaneously watching it by that point, right? But, you know, at least tens of thousands probably or something like that, right? And I was just disappointed I couldn't see everybody when I was there, right? I wanted to go up there and actually see like your face and everyone's faces, but they're all just these like bright blinding lights and I couldn't see anyone, you know? I was like actually really looking forward to sort of like having that moment with the people that we've been sort of like living together with, sort of like building together. So no, I've always been fine in front of people. There's something weird about this like logging stuff for posterity, and it's just like there forever in sort of like the universe, which I've sort of like never particularly liked, and I've never been one that's found posting on sort of like social media sort of like natural. But like, hey, you've just like, you know, got to get with the times, right? So yes, but yeah, so we're gonna like look at the camera. I'm gonna look at the camera more as well to say hey to people, right, and not so much at you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a conversation. Like it's you and me, but in the end, it's like you, me, and the audience, and like what is most interesting to the audience.
Yeah, no, this is great that you're on one of these first new live streams with the new team, so that we can also then do the direction better and talk with the camera.
Yeah, we should take questions from the audience. I bet they have a lot of questions for you about art.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, yeah, we'll work out when the forum for that one is. Yeah, no, yeah, that one. Then we'll cue that. We'll park that one for another time. But we should be doing some sort of like lives like that.
Like an AMA or something.
Yeah, I mean, there is like a live comment section like in this thing. I think someone, if you wanted to, you probably could say something and it would probably feed its way back to someone on here, and then we'd panic about how to respond to it, right? But back to you. So, okay, great. You're telling this story as you're building. So you've been extremely deliberate about it, right? You've captured this lesson from the previous startup. You've come here, you're very interested actually in just this like full experiment of almost like the antithesis of technology, like coming back to sort of like the physical, real world, real people together, building things. What are you building at the moment?
So premise. So I came here, I had no idea what I wanted to build. I had massive FOMO. You can, like James can confirm, because everyone is building something. And I felt like, oh my God, everyone is building and I'm not building and I don't know what to build. So like massive panic. And then like, when I was just like, screw it, I'm not gonna stress about it anymore, then the idea came. And like every idea that I had before is basically solving my own selfish problem and betting that other people have the same problem. And specifically the problem that most people have, especially creators that go on camera, is yapping at that camera. Okay, so most people, or like fear of public speaking is actually the first fear for people. Did you know that? Even more than dying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
People are terrified. So like what you said, I was kind of, disappointed that I couldn't see people's faces while I was on stage.
Yeah.
Actually, most people would be terrified at that.
I think it's just because it was be friendly faces in that situation particularly, right?
Yeah.
That was a room full of like hundreds of people that we knew as well. That's part of why I wanted. But I can understand that being that being nerve-wracking for sure. Yeah.
So I'm building a model basically for nonverbal communication. So think about tone of voice, facial expression, gesturing, environment that analyzes all of these and helps creators give better deliveries for their hooks specifically.
That's amazing. Were you as good at that just naturally from birth, or did you have to train yourself to be as articulate, as good with your facial expressions, your gestures, the way that you posture and position yourself with the camera? Like, how much of this was innate and how much of this was nurtured?
So I did ballet.
I noticed that in you. I see, like literally just yesterday when I saw you like waiting for the lift, just the posture you sort of like just had before, I was like, ballet.
Yeah. So that I will say is the best gym ever for confidence on stage on camera. It gives you a great awareness of the space and the audience, because you have to communicate without using your words, just by using your body. So one of the first things that they teach you is to walk the stage. right? So you have to use the entire stage, okay? Because people get bored if you stay in the same spot. So you have to move. And then you have to use your body, your gestures to communicate emotions because you cannot speak, right, when you're dancing. So that's the best training ever. And then you get, on the stage and perform in front of people since you're very young. So that's the best training ever. So I will advise anyone actually that wants to, pitch to investors or do public speaking to actually do theater, like acting, music, dancing, whatever that is, like that improvisation, that massively helps.
Yeah. Some of the best people on stage that we've actually have come through Network School are other sort of like theater kids and stuff that we've had sort of like here. And we have an improv class. I think that still happens like fairly regularly where people are going and like practicing these skills and getting better kind of at this. This is one of the first conversations we had actually, and I'm checking in on this now, was like, I have done not a ballet class before, but a bar class, right?
Ooh,
and do you remember that you were
James.
saying? Do you remember that you were saying about doing like maybe leading like a bar class here?
Yeah. Do you wanna participate?
Yes, I do. Yeah. I guess don't do my like.
You could use some. Okay.
Yeah. No. I will come to a bar class if we do one for sure.
Okay. We need the bars though,
Well,
because we don't have them.
Well, hey, look, we need to continually sort of like make this place
Better.
more acceptable for the fairer sex. So like maybe this is like step by step that we can sort of like do this, right? But it's like it's a very good type of exercise as well. Actually, like I worry here, like, we do so many of these like active sports, right? That like people are getting injured. And I'm just sort of like actually just like more of this core strength, flexibility, sort of like controlled movements. All of this is going to help us sort of like reduce injuries and, be sort of like more longevity focused as well. I'm up for a bar class.
Yeah, actually, this is a very underrated training when it comes to longevity. I'm not talking about bars specifically, but I'm talking about like training flexibility and equilibrium as well. Because if you think about it, when you age, what you tend to do is to lose your sense of equilibrium and you fall, and that's how you get injured. And like ballet or like any like Pilates or yoga to a certain extent, like help you to train your balance basically. And that's so important. Like your core muscle here are everything.
Yeah. Okay, but you're now training a model to help everyone with ballet, not with ballet, right? With all of the way that they communicate with the camera, right? So any content creator that's out there, you're trying to give them to tell a bit more, like exactly, like how would they use it? How would they engage with this model? Like how would it be useful for them?
So they'll get like a virtual coach, and real time this coach, so like imagine it's a recording app. So instead of using, I don't know, edits or like the TikTok app, you're recording this app, and like every time that you stop, because like usually creators don't say the entire script at the same time, they stop, right? So every time that you stop, you get real time feedback. Okay, you will have an AI coach that says, okay, you have to redo the shoot, do it like this. So you get real-time feedback, and all you do is to imitate what the coach is saying. And the coaching is rooted on real data, like data benchmarked for your niche, for your size, so it's normalized, right? Like viral video for a 10,000 followers is much different than a viral video for a creator that has 100,000 followers, right? So we'll normalize all of that, and we'll give you personalized feedback, and we'll monitor like your performances over time. So every time you'll get better coaching and better feedback. Like creators pay thousands of dollars every month to go to communities and personal coaches to do this. We'll do this for you in an automated way, and we'll do this in a data-driven way.
Yeah. No, I love it. I mean, again, there's so many creators here at sort of like Network School, right? And all of them could use this, right? It's like if you can have a professional sort of like director or coach that's just like constantly helping you craft the right hooks, say things the right way, use all this, I'm like, you're getting sort of self-conscious of the way that you do things, right? But that's that's sort of helpful.
And we can repurpose the technology, right? Because in the end, the real product is the model, right? So we can imagine that there are other revenue streams and other use cases that in the future we can cover, and that's what I really like about this. Like how, when you think about what you're building in this day and age, I think it's especially important thinking about transferable like business models and use cases. Like, can you kill 2 pigeons with the same stone? Like I like to think about asymmetric bets.
No, interesting, right? Yeah, I guess again, training this model, okay, and there's like an application that you're launching with, but do you think you would again provide that model via API for other people to use for different use cases? Yeah.
Yes, probably yes.
No, it's super interesting, and you're building that here.
I'm building that here. Although my co-founder is not here, unfortunately. He cannot really travel because he has a family in Canada. But yes, I'm building this here. And I'm betting actually that the next unicorn is probably going to be me, and I'm going to build it from here.
Oh, fire. Hey, you know what, though? I think there's a whole bunch of people that could hit, generally, right? I think there is like a whole bunch of people that we're sharing these spaces with at the minute that are going on to build kind of like amazing things. I think there's something here, generally. I think if you can build, I mean, again, like we were talking about the other day, right? It's like, okay, we've had these LLMs, large language models, right? Language, but the thing with like, what is language or how do we communicate, right? And some of that is verbal. And what you're talking about is actually like the much larger part of communication, which is all of the non-verbal, the tone and all the rest of it, right? So I think there's something deeply important that you're working on there, and
Actually, every major AI lab right now is racing to build world models. So not language anymore, world. And to do this, they need videos. That's why OpenAI launched Sora. Sora is not for you to make stupid memes online of Sam Altman, okay, or of you and your friends. It's not for that. It's like Sam Altman says in all of his interviews that Sora, it's for getting training data for building these huge world models, right? So that AI can see and learn on its own, hopefully. That's what they're betting on.
No, very cool. Well, where can someone follow you, find out? Where should they go?
You can follow me on X, which I will revive soon.
Yeah.
But mainly my main channel is Instagram. You can follow me at the handle Sarah in WonderTech. Sarah without an H. And WonderTech, like Wonderland, Alice in Wonderland, but it's WonderTech.
Sure. No, amazing. Well, look, thank you so much for being here today with all your bright energy. I appreciate it, and for making it a little bit more engaging for the audience, hopefully. Thank you very much. Pow, pow, pow. And we're now not even the only layer 2 that's here. So it's pretty incredible pace of change that's going on here. Come straight in. We're ready to go. Woo! We now have our own space. We have been, we've run probably like 100 events now here at Network School before we even actually opened kind of the space kind of like formally. But yes, thank you for being here and being on the show. Like why did you come here in July then? What brought you to Network School?
So I already knew about Balaji back in 22, and I met him in a dinner in 23. So I've been following him since then. And he announced Network School V1. I couldn't make to it because of some logistics. And when it was announced for V2, I knew that I had to be here. And I first applied for June, but I had to reschedule and got back in July. Yeah.
Okay. And so you were just this was on your radar, I guess, and then you're just like, you have to be there. I guess, like, why did you care? Why did you feel you had to be here for this?
Okay, so it was Grizzlython, that was a Solana hackathon, and there was that track called DAOs and Network States that was sponsored by Balaji himself. And that's where I came to know, and the idea seemed pretty interesting to me. I had attended a few pop-ups. I had attended Forma and already knew about Praxis. So Araya I went to the demo day, and yeah.
No, super
That's
cool.
it.
Did you catch up with Fahaj or Bobby or Akshat that were all here this weekend?
Oh yeah, Farhad and Bobby. I know both of them from Super Team.
Yeah.
So been known them for a while.
No, it's great. I love them. They're amazing people. I wish I've got the time to go to a bloody former city, trying to see if I can kind of escape. But I guess you're like super interested in the space. You've had good experience with this stuff, and you're like, okay, want to come to the, I guess like the source of all of this. I don't know if that's fair. And you like it, right? Because you've also signed to be here like long term, right? So just like, that's crazy. You've also committed to be on this, ghost city for at least a year. Like, why did you make that decision?
So in July, that was the first time for the past 2 years that I was in the same country for more than 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
And they got to keep me here. Yeah. And one more thing is that this is an artificial society, but it's designed to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So perfection it's what needed. Yeah.
We're not there yet though, right? We've got a little bit of work to do. Perfection is an extremely big sort of like work, right? But no, it's very, very cool. It's very, very cool. But so I know you're indicating again that you've been sort of in this space, or at least in the Web3 crypto adjacent space for quite some time.
Yeah.
What were you doing before you sort of like came here? What are you working on at the moment?
So I've been a developer for a while. I worked in DeFi, and before coming here, I was working on Surfcash. That's because I've been a digital nomad for myself, and I had to use. I remember that once I was counting 480 currency notes just to pay my rent.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to solve that problem just from crypto to local payment rails, and that's what I was doing, and that's what I'm doing here. And I think this is the best place because a lot of digital nomads are here, and they keep coming every month.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And just explain that again, right? So you're saying that you were getting out 400 bills, right? Cash.
Yeah.
To have to pay for your rent. Just explain that a little bit more, maybe for someone that's not sort of like watching this from sort of a developing country somewhere.
Okay, so it was in Vietnam, and I had to pay the rent and the deposit for 1 month to my landlord. And I went to the ATM. It was around 200K, 20 million, yeah. So it was 20 million, and in the denomination of 100K VND, because the currency is really down for Vietnam. And it was, I counted the notes, the bills all the time, and it was 480, I still remember. And that's the same issue with Thailand, with Philippines, with all of Southeast Asia. So I think that we can move to other places, but we are still out of their economies. Like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Interesting. But okay, so I mean, there's no question. I mean, like here, I often go to places here and I can't interact with the point of sale. I'll see QR codes or whatever it is, right? And like and then I don't have the cash on me, and then I'm not able to actually like do the thing that I wanted to do, right? So that happens to me sort of like here. I guess so. This is one of those pain points that you're saving or like trying to solve even with Surfcash. Okay, tell me a little bit more, like what's Surfcash?
So think of it like a stablecoin neobank for nomads, but technically we never store users' funds. Unlike other platforms, there are some crypto cards solving the same problem, but they store users' funds, and cards do not work everywhere. Cards work at Starbucks, but not at local street food stalls where people eat their breakfast.
So the product is a non-custodial wallet,
Yeah,
but with a card attached
yeah,
that then allows you to engage with Vietnam sort of
yeah.
like,
And not only card, you can just scan the local QR codes. Yeah.
and again, and you've done this in such a way again that because it's non-custodial,
It's
in Vietnam if they're in Da Nang and they're trying to pay their rent? Like how does someone like, come and interact with this?
Oh yeah, it's there in Vietnam, and we are gonna post a demo very soon on how to use it
No.
in Vietnam.
No, okay, very, very cool. Again, this is not your sort of like first rodeo, right? I guess obviously you've suffered this personal pain point yourself, but I guess that you have been fairly prolific, I guess, sort of in the crypto scene, where whether it's the hackathons you're winning or the products you've been building and the users that you've been interacting with. Do you want us to talk a little bit about some of that work you've done?
So I got into the Solana ecosystem just before the FTX crash. That was when Solana went to $8, and there was all negative sentiment all around. And I stayed for the community because I was not a Super Team member back then, just not even a contributor. So Super Team is a community, for those who don't know, it's a community of Solana, so people building in the Solana ecosystem, and it has 3 levels, which is lurker, that anyone can become a lurker, and then there's contributor. There are 250 contributors, and the member are 150 people.
Yep.
So I was just a lurker, and I used to take sessions about Solana, teach people about Solana. I was just a student back then. And with time, I started contributing more to the ecosystem, became a contributor, got my first gig. And most of the opportunities I got were from Super Team Discord. And then eventually I became a member and started speaking at hacker houses, built a bunch of more products. Yeah.
It's been pretty successful for Solana, I guess.
Oh yeah, and I see different chains copying the same model. Copying would not be a great way, but forking. And I also forked Super Team to create a community around open source, which I did it in my college. So I created a community to promote open source software, and then we forked the Super Team model, and it gives amazing results. That it's a merit-based community. Yeah.
Is there lessons from that for you for how you go to market with Surfcash?
So first thing is to talk to users, and I just posted about Surfcash in one of those underground Telegram groups, and everyone wanted it. Yeah. So just talk to users.
And anything else though? I guess like it's like a Super Team's a little bit more deliberate than just like talking to users, right? Like, are there any other sort of like lessons that you think are worth learning, I guess, from that?
Oh yeah, Super Team is a cheat code. You can get, so Super Team also functions like an internal economy. Users so people who are building on Solana, they can get their users, they can get their employees, they can get their co-founders, and in fact, get their investments from Super Team. Super Team also runs a Super Team collective, and they collectively invest into Solana projects as well.
This is something I think that we're starting to see sort of get replicated here, right, in Network School, that it's almost like its own little super team. And like you said, it's just like a hack to everything, right? It's like you have this like ready audience of people that ultimately want to see you succeed, right?
Yeah.
It's like whether you do want people to use and test your app, whether you want them to be your first customers or to advocate for this stuff, right? Like there is there's almost like this is like a big sort of like super team of people that are all sort of like supporting each other and trying to help each other win, I guess.
Oh yeah, IRL Super Team. So I was in Network State Conference. I was there last year and this year as well. There was Akshay BD, who's the founder of Super Team. Yeah, he always mentions about that. So this is kind of a physical version of Super Team.
So maybe, so is actually Super Team just a really good network state?
Oh yeah. Yeah, as Balaji says, that land not last, but not the first as well. So now we've got the land here.
Yeah, and that's what's really interesting about things like Forma, right? Which have been helping the super teams, also the Solana ecosystem, actually like end up in the physical world kind of as well, right? And so now they're working on the Solana economic zones. And so, you know, AxeJ and Solana have come not full circle, right? But it's like they're positioned really, really well to continue to do stuff in the real world.
Yeah, I've been knowing most of the former people from BuildSpace days. I was a part of BuildSpace back in 23, and I went to their IRL event as well. That's where I met Faraz and other people.
Which season for
Season 4.
Season 4.
Were you a part?
No, I wasn't. Actually, this, you know, it's a point of reflection. You know, you know, I was speaking to Fahaj about it this weekend, and I'm really actually diving into BuildSpace because like there's so many people that were like positively affected by kind of like BuildSpace, right? And they were all running what was effectively a free online program, and I just think there's so much to learn. But that for some reason, like it just like didn't really cross my radar in the right way. Or at least I didn't engage with it in the right way as I should. So, you know, I probably like look back in history and realize that I was like, you know, intro to Farsa or something at some point, you know, and I just like missed it, right? But it's so interesting because there are so many people that come through Network School, you know, that and ARC that have been a part of a BuildSpace. But that was a positive experience for you.
Yeah, BuildSpace, I would say it changed my life's trajectory because I knew BuildSpace before they started their nights and weekends. I was a part of season 2 as well, and before that they had some Solana courses. I learned Solana through BuildSpace, Solana development, and they focus more on shipping and getting users rather than just making some standalone projects.
Yeah.
So that's what impacted me. And then I was just browsing. I came to know about Nights and Weekends season 2. It used to happen on Zoom rather than Twitch and YouTube, which they got after a long time.
Yeah.
Since season 4, I think. So I was in season 2, season 3, and then season 4 was where I graduated.
Oh wow! Wow! And what was the requirement for graduating? I guess like.
All right. So there are 6 weekly updates you need to submit for. So that's why BuildSpace is kind of pretty open for anyone to join.
Yeah.
But not many people graduate. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's one of the most interesting things about it, right? Like, if there's not just, for example, it was crypto orientated. A lot of the sponsors and the ecosystems that were involved, right, were crypto, but people there were building such a diversity of things, right?
Yeah, AI things. Not only crypto and AI, or even software, hardware, and even I met someone. Oh yeah, Araya, Action. So he was building Araya as a part of BuildSpace. So people are building almost anything. Yeah.
The world just gets smaller and smaller every step, you know, like it's absolutely sort of insane. Okay, well, do you think there are more things from BuildSpace that like Network School or, you know, or ARC should actually be sort of like learning or implementing?
I saw that back in July, like BuildSpace used to have, we can also have some sort of graduation thing, like BuildSpace does, submit for weekly updates, like we are doing it at ARC. You push us to, so for everyone who has put that getting fit as in one of their goals, we go to the barn. And if we like submit maybe 20 out of 30 updates for the month, okay, we graduate.
Yeah.
Can have some sort.
Yeah. No, this point of graduation is interesting because again, it's like what's interesting again about sort of like Network School, about ARC here, right, is that we're trying to create these permanent experiences.
Yeah.
And so I actually you know, I kind of struggle in between that about working out, okay, yeah, with the sort of no graduation in a way, right? Because it's sort of like continued, right? But actually that's just not true, right? There are steps that you can keep taking. There are milestones you can keep taking, right? Even though you're gonna keep graduating again and again and remaining in a place over time. So I think it is interesting. And we just put a kind of like a whim reflection or whatever, right? A moment where we can actually start to sort of like celebrate the things that people do actually sort of like succeed and, you know, get done here. And I think we need to take the time to do that kind of as well. It's
maybe like weekly check-in or something.
Yeah. No, it's super cool. But okay, well, like, so what's the best way if someone wants to use Surfcash or they want to come and reach out? Like, how do they get on the wait list? How do they get access? Like, tell us.
So there's the website getsurf.cash. You can just sign up to the wait list, and Apple's approval process is quite a bit tricky. So that's why we're already live on Solana App Store, which is kind of permissionless, but App Store is a bit tricky. So we've got the approval, but we are in the final steps of publishing it.
Do you have the Solana phone? on your?
Oh no,
Oh, okay.
I've ordered it, but I haven't got it till now. Yeah.
Okay, so that's where they're going to find. That's where they're going to use it.
Yeah.
And if they want to lead a local super team for the advancement of Surf Cash in their territory, they should reach out directly to you on X to help out.
Yeah, 100%. And there are different super teams opening every month or so. Now
I mean, one specifically for Surf Cash, like, I don't know what your model ends up being, but yeah, it's super cool. Okay, Ashton, thank you so much for being here and for being on. Good luck with Surf Cash, and
Cool.
yeah,
Thanks
pleasure,
for
dude.
having me.
No worries at all, dude. Thank you. Super interesting period where, as opposed to like Arc running these sort of like temporary pop-ups, we're now just in this space of building literally permanently. Like the experience here never ends. You turn up, you never have to leave. There's always something that's sort of like happening. So let's see how it goes. Jean-Baptiste, JB.
James, thanks for having me.
It's the only JB in JB. Or there probably is another JB in JB somewhere, isn't
There
there?
has to be. There's a lot of us in the world.
Is there?
There's a ton of JBs. I mean, there's a ton of just two-lettered people.
Okay, not Jean-Baptiste.
Yeah.
Certainly not Jean-Baptiste from Texas.
Yeah, probably not too many, but there are some European immigrants in Texas, and I don't know. Frenchies like to get around.
How do you identify?
How do I identify? Texan. No.
I always fucking love it.
No, I identify, as Franco-American, I guess. But I when it's convenient, I tell people I'm French and or American,
Okay.
based on the situation. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm proud of being from both places. There's a lot of things to like in France, a lot of things to enjoy in the US. So yeah, I love them both.
No, I love it as well. And again, I hope that we're catching your boots on this camera. Maybe we just need to put this forward so you can have your feet up on the table, right? And they get caught. But we take our shoes when we go into some of the main sort of like Arc spaces, kind of like here. And I just always like walking in and there just being a piece that, a few cowboy boots outside, right? It's very, very good. But why are you here, JB?
Why am I here? So basically, so I'm working on a language learning app, and about 6 weeks ago, or about 2.5 months ago, you sent me an invite to come to this place. And at that time, I was feeling the importance of doing my own thing. And I was working at a startup at that time, and I was planning to leave. And I wanted to make sure that when I left, I started off this, jobless or founder journey.
Funployment.
Yes,
something
exactly.
Like that, right? Yep.
Yeah, on a good note. And so for me, that meant like a healthy regiment. It meant being around focused people in a focused environment. And I mean, I kind of have that in Austin, where I live. I have actually a lot of very driven young friends also trying to start companies, but there's also like a lot of fun and distractions out there, which I love and hold dearly. So, so anyways, it was good. Like I quit, put in my 2 weeks, and right when I was supposed to kind of leave for here. And I think it was the right choice, though. There are some things I'm starting to miss.
Now we met in Austin. Not when actually long before we were running sort of the experience in Austin earlier this kind of like year, right? We were both working at a sort of capital factory.
Yes.
And bedding down, and occasionally getting to enjoy some of the fruits of 6th Street and all the rest of it, right?
Absolutely.
But Austin is a beautiful place.
It is. Shout out Capital Factory. Shout out my good friends there working hard too. Austin's a very inspirational place, just like here. So.
But are you saying that they should come here because you're not
Yeah,
returning?
definitely. Actually, that's
Yeah.
my plan. That's my plan.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go back and talk about this place a lot. My plan is to, go back. I live with my brother. I enjoy my life there.
Yeah.
I'm not quite ready to call it quits on the good old USA just yet.
Yeah.
But I do want to come back next spring, check out some other kind of charter city projects. And I had some friends who were interested before coming here.
Yeah.
And I think they could also, they're very much in that, locked in mindset.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of them are also, have fitness goals and everything. So I think for them, it would also be perfect. So next time I might come with some of them.
Come
We'll
with a
see.
crew,
Fingers crossed.
right? This is
Yeah.
it. You're now going to take some sort of like a missionary sort of like perspective. You know?
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
They're very something.
Boxes of is, relatively not too expensive for lodging and food and, well, not personalized training, but, fitness classes for like the whole package for a Westerner is fairly reasonable.
Yep.
That combined with the focused environment and a little bit of like travel in Malaysia was perfect. So yeah, it was like perfect timing and the perfect kind of offer, package.
That's good. And so you mentioned right at the beginning again that you're working on a language learning app. Tell us a
right.
little bit more about
Yeah, so it's called PolyChat. It's in the App Store and the Play Store. So basically my father, my father made apps. He got in during the BlackBerry days and had quite a bit of success early on. At first he was in fitness apps, he had a password manager. Eventually things coalesced into the language learning app space. Sure. That business has performed well, put bread on the table for my family.
Yep.
I think my dad found a fit, found a product market fit, found a group of people who like his product, his style. And I think over the last few years has shifted more into a, keeping the boat steady mode. So when ChatGPT came out, I, just growing up around that, having my dad's advice growing up on how to run a business, the app game and all that. When ChatGPT came out, I saw massive opportunity for a language learning app. And the original kind of idea was, okay, we're going to have an AI tutor that you just talk to. You're going to learn everything through conversation. And that was actually the first version of PolyChat, which came out like 2.5 years ago. And at that time, it's just not where I was putting most of my attention. I had other focuses in life. I was digital nomading. Then I had this startup opportunity. So the project kind of stayed dormant. And in that time, I had a lot of time to think and observe just the language learning space. So what I observed was, one, that the traditional language learning apps like Duolingo, Rosetta Stone were still king by multiple factors by a large magnitude in terms of revenue. And the other apps that were trying to do the AI language tutor thing, there's so many, and I was struggling to see. I mean, some of them were having a lot of success, like JumpSpeak. I mean, there's a bunch of these apps, but I just wasn't seeing much like an easy, clear way to differentiate between them. So my mind kind of came back to, all right, well, what is it that is so good about these more traditional learning structures? Playing like a game to learn a word or a phrase, starting like that and slowly getting more complicated. And I think, there's two things. One, there's not a million ways to teach somebody a word or phrase, and I don't think it's like a massive advantage to do that in a conversation format. I think a conversation is a great tool for intermediate to advanced learners. Two, while the optimal way to learn a language is actually to sign up for a class, there are so many people who just will never do that. Because it's like a fun hobby, it's actually like they enjoy the game of it. So there's super serious ways to learn a language that are super effective.
Yep.
And then there's Duolingo, which a lot of people say, I've been doing this for 3 years. I love it, but I don't really know how to speak it that well.
Yeah.
So I think our mission with PolyChat is, can we do something way more engaging than Duolingo that
Yep.
builds on a lot of its successes,
Yep.
doesn't try to completely change fundamentally what people love about it, but can we make it more effective? Can we make it way more engaging? And I think yes. And also, if you just look at the forums these days where people discuss these apps, people are like, Duolingo is like a publicly traded company now, and it's been about 2-3 years that everybody is complaining about their app degrading in terms of the experience for free users, even paid users losing things they like. So there's
It's a
this
huge business, right? Like,
massive, it's like $20 billion market cap, and they're not the only winners in the space.
Yeah. But okay, so who is the right customer then that should come and use PolyChat? Who is it that should be listening to this and be like, hey, I would love to go to JB with JB and be able to speak with the locals and engage?
Yeah, so, anyone who's tired of Duolingo putting limits on the amount of time you can play for free should try PolyChat, because you can play as much as you want in a day, as many lessons as you want. Also, we have languages in there that are more niche, like Albanian, Romanian, Catalan. These are underserved languages, and we have some early fans in these languages. Another advantage of PolyChat, we have 17 languages in there. You can learn them from any of those languages. So,
Interesting.
So let's say you're Albanian, really interested in Vietnamese or Spanish. Well, I have yet to come across a Albanian to Spanish app. So just fundamentally, the way we built it makes it so any language we add, the whole thing is omnidirectional. And that right now is proving to be like an early, draw for people.
That's interesting. Was that like deliberate in the name as well from the beginning?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I mean, Poly is not polyamorous, it's polyglot. And PolyChat was originally, we were making an AI chat app, but just think it rolls off the tongue so nicely. Why
There I was
change it?
thinking you were this polyamorous fan,
Yeah.
JB.
Yeah, well, we'll see what spin-off companies can come from this,
Yeah. I mean, people often want to use these apps for.
Yeah. Well, we are introducing a lot of multiplayer play very soon. You will be able to like message people, make friends. So
Interesting.
that might be an interesting angle of success for us, is if the polyamorous community kind of just swarms our app and it becomes this secret like meetup thing. I'd be okay with that.
Well, hey, exactly, right? Like,
Yeah.
if they want it.
Yeah. And they can learn Spanish at the same time.
Has that been done before in other sort of like language learning apps in terms of like a multiplayer element to it?
Yeah. So actually,
Let's try and test this. Okay.
Yeah. So actually, Duolingo has leagues and things like that, and you mainly and their whole multiplayer thing, how they do their, how they make money off the apps. We are going to try to replicate some of that without making it feel like not an educational product. You're not going to be shooting zombies to learn how to say hello in Spanish. Fundamentally, it'll be a familiar experience, but Duolingo got famous for gamifying and going mobile.
Yeah.
I think PolyChat can take it to a whole other level.
And get famous for basically making the gameplay AAA or
implementing a popular model that AAA games use to make money and entertain people and provide games to the masses.
Are you launching a shitcoin, JB?
No, not yet. Yeah, Polycoin. That's probably already taken, actually.
No, yeah. There's
yeah.
plenty of those.
Yeah. And then, so along the way, yeah, I don't want to reveal too much, like
Yeah,
just
yeah,
paint
sure.
the whole thing.
Yeah,
Along
sure.
the way, the challenge is to make money while we work on something that does require a lot of art, just a lot of freaking code.
Yeah.
So along the way, we are, very simply just trying to provide more for less. So
Yeah.
these companies, they're squeezing. I mean, they're just stuck in a loop of trying to maximize their profits at the cost of the
Experience. Right?
experience. So
Yeah.
there's a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
It's a classic
Yeah.
tale in capitalism,
No, it's amazing, right? And I guess that you and your co-founder, your brother, right? You've got like all the fucking skills to execute on this, right?
Yes.
And you're just busy basically head down, bootstrapping, solving the problems and making something work here, right?
Yes.
Like, I love what you said to me the other day. It just like, it was words to that effect of like, you're just very sure you're going to make it. Not in an overconfident or an arrogant way, but just in like, it's like it was more just like, if we're deliberate, if we keep following this process, right? If we keep listening to fucking users, if we keep building what they want, if we keep iterating and testing and tweaking and, perfecting these things, like you will get there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people, like, I don't know, you people ask you what you're doing, why, and everything. Like in the startup world, there's a lot of people asking for, all right, so what's your silver bullet, or how are you, how is this going to change the world? And there are potentials for that, but I feel like sometimes people get lost in these big potentials rather than just analyzing a market and seeing just obvious ways that things can be improved, and that people are asking for them to be improved. So yeah, without like a massive technological advancement, I think you can, give some of the big guys a run for their money. And I like, I just think like a lot of tech founders are ignoring or aren't thinking of a lot of like easy wins. They're trying to come up with something totally unique, something that is technically way more advanced than everything else, when there are some like obvious things around. And like, like for example, like, I mean, this is kind of like a ridiculous example, but Papa John's did not invent pizza.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people make pizza and have a lot of success making pizza. So there's
We
a
would
lot of
love a fucking pizza place
I
here,
would love
wouldn't
a
we,
fucking pizza right now. Like honestly, I've been eating a lot of broccoli here, but yeah, there's some markets where a lot of people can win, and some people can win big through like not super radical innovations. And I know that's not the most inspiring, maybe, thing, but
No, it's
like,
very practical. I think there's like
it is practical.
No, there's like an undertone to here. Right? We live in the real world. We're dealing with very real things. Here, day to day, actually, like we're just very much in the business of like the reality of creating a pizza or whatever the pizza is. Like, it's not like a home hasn't been built before, right? Like we're almost in like the oldest industry, like repeating new things with slight iterations, right? Like just the bedrock of what we're doing here.
Yeah.
And there's all different types of people as well. And again, it's like, I think you represent another archetype that like can come here and do very, very well, right? Which is where like actually you have a mission, you understand exactly what you need to go out there and do it, and you just need the best environment and setup to just get on and do that yourself, right? What you don't need is someone to wire you $10 million, hire 1,000 people and get distracted doing whatever it is, right? Like, and there's a lot of people that resonate with that these days, right? There are so many, there'll be indie hackers that are, I don't know how you, again, it goes back to that question, how you identify, right? But there are so many other ways to create these, particularly for smaller teams, like monumental successes, right? Without having to go to this crazy stuff, right? And but that's maybe, again, it's like you definitely have broader aspirations for Polychat. You've alluded to some of them here, right? But you're just like not putting the cart before the horse, right?
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
like step by step.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of like, I mean, I'm on Twitter now, and there's a lot of great stories of people who, whatever, they vibe code something, and 3 months or 1 month later, they got that 5. lot of ideas that we have for making one that's way better than the rest.
Yep.
And it's going to take a lot of time. But if we put all the pieces in motion
Yep.
and we do it right, like we can make it. And we don't have to be like, I don't know, we don't have to, it's just simple. In a way, it's a simple strategy. It just takes a lot of effort. It's not like a super sexy one, I guess.
Hey, nothing is,
Yeah.
you know, even under, you know, someone that's building the rocket ship has just got a hammer and is hitting a nail into a piece of metal, right? Like it's sort of that simple at the end of the stuff. So it's very, very cool. But no, okay. So here, I'm just wondering if we can. I mean, one, I feel that you should do like a bit of two-stepping for us on the live show.
Well,
is that an unfair request to do some two-stepping?
Oh, on the live show?
I mean, like
oh,
right
my
now,
Lord.
like-
Well, James, you've got nice long hair, but I don't know if we can do this together.
Two-stepping's not a single.
It's not
single
a single
player sport.
No, it's not a single player sport. No, but
Have you been to any of the dance things that happened here? Or was it?
I think there's some ladies doing like some heels or some kind of like
Oh, yeah, there's
booty
been-
shaking.
Yeah, there's been
Dance,
those
but-
ones we haven't had invites to those. Kind of ones.
There was a party at someone's apartment, and I did.
No,
show
I've seen
some
you
two-step.
dancing multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And you're always playing excellent music, and I'm enjoying in the music that's always played by everybody. I'm getting to learn. Or not learn, I just remember these things that I already know. And I'm like, oh my God, yes. I love all this stuff. So I appreciate kind of like that. Is there anything else we should be learning from you here? And then
Learning from me is like we'll see where things go. You know, like a lot of the thoughts I just shared are ideas, and we'll see if these ideas work out. You know, but being around like very driven people. I think like one thing I'd love to, or I want to mention is I feel like very much intellectual freedom here. People say what they think. People aren't afraid to discuss, you know, tough things.
And they're like, oh, so gotta go back to the real world and pick a side. Yeah.
It's pointing up. It's not pointing left or right. So it's there's some-
Well, I think that is kind of good, whatever metaphor or something. People here are optimists, which is great, and that's why everyone here is ambitious and thinks it's in their power to do something big and have an impact. And like we need more of that.
Yeah. And this is the thing. I mean, like you just talked about it a second ago, right? There are so many things that can be better. There are so many organizations like Duolingo or these other big apps that like take their market for granted. And now with the falling cost of production, you know, smaller teams, indie hackers, people watching this, right?
Yeah.
You don't need 10 mil to compete. You can get out there and you can start competing right now. And in the same process, you can change the world, whether it's for yourself, for 5 users, for 50, for 500, for 5,000, for 5 million. It's all increasingly possible, and there's just so much work to do. There's just so many. You should be optimistic. People, you can build, you can make a difference. There's like an infinite number of customer, you know, subsets that are out there to be served and for you to build new things for.
And it's cool. It seems you can do it more authentically than ever because like people, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of these big companies, they play it safe with their humor, with their marketing, and all this stuff. And I mean, nowadays, I don't know. Like, the Cluely guys, you know, had a big. I don't know. So that stuff excites me, like the idea that maybe we can win more too by being authentic. And that provides cool opportunity nowadays too.
I think so. But okay, so again, app is already live. People can go right now and they can learn Albanian in Spanish if they want to.
If you're Albanian, download PolyChat. And also, if you want to learn any of the Romance languages, right now we have 17 languages that use Latin script. We will be releasing more in the spring. And we have a subreddit, r/PolyChat. That's where most of our users hang out. That's where we've gotten most of our users from, actually. And download it. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, so PolyChat into the App Store or the Play Store. It'll be there. And
you're going to see, depending on what app store you're logging in from, you're going to see some kind of like sex like AI chat kind of apps above it. Just scroll past those till
You're
you
in the
see
right place.
a cute language learning app. And
Amazing. Okay, well, look, JB,
All
thank
right.
you so much for being here.
Yeah, appreciate it, James.
it. Guys,
Thank
thank you so much for clocking in for, I think, what was, I don't know, episode 4 of Arc Live here from Network School. Again, there is an open invitation for you to join us here. We are not just live here, we are live literally right now. You can get on a plane and join us. Maybe not tomorrow. I think we're full, the hotel at the minute. I think at Network School is like literally full right now. But from 1st of November, you can still come and join us here, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you very much.
cheers.